What's up, everyone? My name's Alicia. Welcome to the AA Homestead channel. And today I'm excited because we are going to be talking about beans, specifically dry beans. And I'm really excited about these because I use a lot of beans and I'm trying to incorporate a lot of things that I use in the kitchen and grow them in the garden so I don't have to buy them at the store. So this year I grew dry beans and I grew 4 different kinds of dry beans. One being canna lily. I hope I'm saying that right. I have chili bean mix and the other 2 that I have, and I'll tell you those here in a second. But these ones are a little bit different. So normally when you grow a bean, a bush bean, you're going to pick it throughout the season. With these are different because they are dry bean, and you are going to pick these when the plant is dead. Kind of like potatoes. When you're growing potatoes, you wait till the plant is dead and then you harvest them. Same thing with these. There is a few different ways that you can harvest these. You can pull them right off the plant, which is really tough because the stem that it grows on from the plant right here can get a little hard and it gets a little thicker, so it's hard to pull it off the plant. So you can leave it on the plant and then you can pull the plant if you'd like and then just shuck the beans that way. I've seen methods where you can put these in a pillowcase and then smash the pillowcase and then collect your beans that way, but honestly that seems like a lot more work because then you have to sift through all of the, the pod and find all those beans. So I actually started, you can't see really, but here behind me I took about 5 or 6 plants, see if they were ready, and not all of them are, but it seems like the chili beans are the furthest along, which is great. So I'm going to harvest them, not off the plant. I'm actually going to pull the plant. I'm going to get my cart in here, I'm going to pull the plant, and then I'm going to shuck the pods later tonight. And I have 2 here, so I'm going to put it next to the microphone so you can hear the difference. So this pod is dry, that you can hear the beans in there. This pod is not. It still has some moisture to it. And then this one's crunchy. See the difference? This one is not crunchy. It's very flexible. So this one still has a little bit more to go. And that's kind of at the point where you can harvest them now or you can wait. And that's where the tough part comes in. Because if you live in a humid, climate, you're going to lose your harvest because then the pods are going to mold and then your beans are going to mold as well. And you don't want that. So what you can do is you can pull the whole plant and then you can hang it somewhere upside down and let it dry the rest of the way that way. So you can still have a really good harvest. Another point I want to make out when you are growing dry beans, even beans in general, you have such a return with them. What I mean by that is you take, because you want your seeds to be heirloom, because if they're not, then you're gonna get somewhat of the same thing. But I could take this and I can plant this, and then in return from that plant or that seed, look at all of these pods that are on here that are full of dry beans or seeds if you're trying to save seeds. So the return rate is phenomenal. Oh no, there's opener. Alright, got my cart. Found a zucchini along the way, which is great. I accidentally planted all summer squash and I made the mistake of doing it again. So I only have 1 zucchini plant. All right. Now I did lose a couple plants along the way, but that's okay. I'm hoping that out of all that I planted, I'll have enough for this winter. We definitely should. Peppers are going to be ready to go, along with the tomatoes. The tomatoes are starting to come in too. All right, I think I've got all but one. This one needs, yeah, it needs a little bit more time. And then I might come down and get the other ones later. If I can get this gorilla cart out of here. When things start growing up like this, it's not as easy to get the cart in and out as much, but it's still doable. Hey, there we go, nice. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is find a good spot to start shucking these, which would probably be the front porch, and that might be where I'm going to go. Because a lot of the cats, well, the kittens I should say, don't really hang up out there on the front porch. They pretty much stick to the garage, and that's where I was. But the problem with that is they try to eat the beans, and we don't want that. So probably gonna go to the front porch. So let's go. Got my colander of dry beans, and any pods that are not completely dry, I am going to go ahead and save them, but put them in a different spot and then bring them downstairs so I can shuck them in the future. You don't have to start shucking them right away, but I want to get it done and over with, and I don't have that many that needs to be done. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it now and bring you guys along with me. Yeah, these are moldy, so we don't want those. It's something you want to keep an eye out for is the ones that are a little too far gone. Yeah, that one is too. So we'll go ahead and skip those. I'll pick those up later. I feel like I'm hijacking my own video, but I had videoed this, at least the first part, a couple of weeks ago, and I'm kind of glad that it has happened the way that it has, because I really got the full experience harvesting these dry beans, and it kind of gave me some more insight, and I want to share that with you on how the process went. And I found a way for me personally, an easier way that I like, instead of harvesting the whole plant, putting them in my gorilla cart, bringing them up, or not upstairs, but up to the house, and then nipping the beans off and then shucking them. It was a whole process. Now, of course, depending on your weather, you might have to do that, harvesting the whole plant themselves and hanging them in an area where, if it's really humid, to get them to dry. So that's totally understandable. So what I'm doing instead of harvesting the whole plant, I'm just going to harvest the dry beans right off the plant, and that way the beans that aren't dry yet still can dry on the plant. The weather has been pretty good. As of recently, this week, it's been pretty humid, but even then, I'm still not really concerned. If it continues to be humid, which it hasn't, it's getting better, then I would start harvesting the plants themselves and then finding a spot for them to dry. But it's gone pretty well. I'm really excited about harvesting the rest of these, and I will actually show you the other side of the process that's in the basement and how I'm doing that. When I'm harvesting these, I'm cutting not here where the stem is, but I'm cutting here. And the reason why I do that is because when I go to shuck them, it comes apart so easily, and then it's gonna come down. I'm not gonna do it now because I don't want to have beans everywhere, but it comes down the seam so much easier that way than harvesting them from the stem. One here, we'll take that. All right. I can't see a thing on my phone, so I don't know if you guys can see me or not. Hopefully you can. I got all the beans that are dry on the plant harvested. Now I'm got all that taken care of. I'm gonna start cleaning these rows up. I'm actually gonna get you out of the sun because my phone likes to overheat, unfortunately. So I'm gonna get you guys into some shade. I'm gonna clean all of this up and then I'll be back. The row is all cleaned up. I took out all the plants, swept it, got all that debris out of there, so it is ready to go for next year. Andrew and I have set a goal because we do it every year. We're always so exhausted at the end of the year that we just kind of let the plants be as they are when they're done. I actually had to come inside just because it was so hot out that my phone was just not recording at all. It would actually stop and in the middle of my sentence, so I said enough of this, we're gonna go inside. This is my setup in the basement, and I've got a towel down here, and what I do is I will, after I'm done shucking these beans, I will go ahead and lay the beans on the towel because I don't want to risk possibly putting wet beans in storage and then ruining all my beans for the winter. So I'll lay them out for about a week or whenever I can get to it, just to ensure that they are all dry. These are the 4 jars that I have. I absolutely love these jars. Got them at Goodwill. My grandma spotted them actually, and I was like, I don't really know what to use them for. Then I put them in the cart, and then I got to thinking, well, I could use these for my dry beans, which it's worked out perfect for, because even though I have half-gallon jars, they're not big enough. So I'm using multiple jars versus using one jar. So I'm using less space. These are 1-gallon jars. Now, they only had 3 of these at Goodwill, and I had to buy a 4th one, which I absolutely did not care for, but I needed a 4th one because I'm growing 4 different types of beans. When I'm done, I'll take this. I don't know if you can see all the stuff floating from the bottom. And then I'll go ahead and lay them all out here on this towel and let them set for however long I feel fit or when I can get to them. So that's kind of the process and how I do this. It's very simple. Gives me some downtime, which is really nice because I don't get a lot of that, especially during gardening season. As you know, if you garden, it is a lot, but I enjoy it very thoroughly, so I have no problem doing it. But this is the process and how I harvest and shuck my beans, and this what works really well for me, and I hope it works well for you, and I hope you're able to grow beans in your garden and find what works for you. It's definitely rewarding. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Really hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next one. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share button, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.